Welcome to Chemistry with Mr. Walker. Winner against loser! Stop! It's those punk kids! They're throwing solid H2O at me! Ugh! Come back here! Ugh.
So, exactly how hurtful was it for your own dad to call you a punk kid?
I mean, it hurt a lot. Really cut deep. I mean, he's embarrassed me in class multiple times.
You called me a loser!
I kind of did. But...
All right, do this chemistry experiment. We're going to need a thermometer right here. It's got to go down below 32 degrees. This one's not ideal. I'd like the precision to be a little better on this one, but it's all I could find at Kroger. You're going to need ice cream salt or rock salt, and you're going to need a big pot or bowl and some purified water. All right, and the last ingredient is snow. That's the last ingredient. You could use ice, but snow's way more fun. So I'm going to turn this over to the cameraman. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert the bottle into the snow, if I can. Oh, the snow's too hard. Yeah, it got a little warm today. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking. Got a little hole into the snow. I'll put that around my water bottle. And what we've got to do, other than make a mess, is we got to put some ice cream salt on top of our snow. Let's do that. We need an ample amount. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to lower the freezing point. Remember, we learned that whenever you add anything to water, when you mix another substance in, it's going to lower the freezing point and it's going to raise the boiling point. So we saw that, we studied that. So we're trying to do this and see if we can get the temperature of our snow below 32 degrees. Let's see, it's dropping down. Let's see if Joshy can get that in focus. Where are we at, Joshy?
Yeah, about 30.
All right. The goal is to get something around 17 degrees. That's kind of the magic point. The goal was to super cool the water. So now when we bump it, everybody ready?
Like one ice.
Did we get any? So we're going to pull it out very carefully. The water should be super cooled. And we just want to hit it with something. Or just tap it. We're going to try tapping it. Here we go. Look at that. That did not work at all. Okay, so we're going to very, very carefully remove this water from here. The way this experiment is supposed to work is that a nice jolt to it. We're going to jolt it with a ski pole. All right, you ready, Lori? Let's see what happens. Nothing!
Failure.
Nothing! Unbelievable. All right. Oh well, this experiment doesn't work. Chemistry's not true! All right, we've got a temperature that's down pretty low right now. It looks like it's down around 12, maybe, something like that. We've actually tried this a few times. The video that I saw said 17 degrees Fahrenheit is kind of the optimal temperature. But I don't know that the water had gotten that cool. Only the ice around it in certain areas was that cool. So we've let the water stay in there longer, and we're going to try it again. The idea is the water has now been super cooled. You can see it shake. Oh, Joshy just bumped it.
That was my knee.
You can see it shaking a little bit, so you can tell that it's still liquidy. But we're going to pull it out and see if it will instantly freeze once we jar the bottle real good. So since we're on a snowboard trip, I've assembled some skiers and snowboarders. Skier number 1, skier number 2, snowboarder number 1, and I'm snowboarder number 2. So anyway, let's pull this out and see what happens. Here we go. I'm gonna pull it out of the water the ice very carefully. Sit it right here on top of the snowboard. We've also put it on a snowboard. And Laura, you're gonna hold it for me, and we're gonna hit it with a ski pole. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Nothing.
I did it!
It did it! Yes! It did it! We just had to jar it hard enough. Nice job, Lori.
Well, now we get Oreos.
All right.
Celebrate.
So we
Double
celebrate.
stuffed Oreos.
We celebrate with Oreos. So yes, solid.
Not really.
Well,
solid.
pretty
Not-
close to being
It's
solid ice.
slushy.
So, what was that moment like when you slammed the bottle down and it immediately began to freeze? Like, walk us through that process.
Well, it was just this amazing experience. I mean, it had been a night full of failure after failure after. I mean, wait a minute. It was actually Mr. Walker's who was failing. I mean, he kept trying.
Cut. Of course, I knew that it was going to take more of a jar to get the bottle to freeze. I mean, I'm a chemistry teacher. I'm here to inspire other people. You know, I want them to have a sense of awe for chemistry. And so, in order to do that, you don't do everything yourself. You let the student do some of those things. And so, when I let Lori slam that bottle down, I mean, that was a moment that she'll never forget. Chemistry became real to her in that moment. So, and I wanted her to experience that. Sure, I wanted to be the one that slammed the bottle down, but I took one for the team.
Oh well, Dad, we're still recording.
All right. Finally did it without falling. So, why did the water all of a sudden turn into ice as soon as we jarred it really hard? It's because we supercooled the water, right? We added in the rock salt and got the ice colder than the normal freezing temperature of water. It was down like, we think around 15 degrees, something like that. And so the water though inside the bottle was staying liquid. We had supercooled it to a point that it was below the normal freezing point. So the water inside the bottle is like at 15 degrees. But the problem is inside that bottle, because of the smooth surface of the bottle, there's really nowhere for the ice to begin to form. You kind of need that like a crystal structure for it to begin to turn into a solid. And because the water's pure, there's not any dust or anything in it, and because the sides of the container are really smooth, there's no way for it to easily get started. And so that's what the Jolt does for us. It's kind of like a shock wave that kind of kickstarts the freezing process, but the water's already cold enough to freeze, so it just like freezes almost immediately. So that was really cool, huh? My wife is saying, oh, you want me to keep going? All right, see you guys. So Jonas, how does it feel to be the only one to experience the victory of actually hitting Mr. Walker with a snowball?
Wait, I won?